when you're an entrepreneur, you got to figure stuff out. Like, you can't ever become complacent. And I got to tell you, it's exhausting. I am leaving the bin store, and I have something that has been inspired for a topic. So I thought, what better time to film this video than right after I leave the bin store that sparked this topic of discussion. So it is a very, 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 very wet day in Kansas, in case you can't tell. I didn't even bother doing my hair today. It's just like, it is what it is. It has been raining 4 of the last 5 days, which is good because that means that all of the rain is going to finally start bringing in the crisp fall weather that us Kansans have been hoping for. I mean, it is finally November after all. We should be getting a taste of fall, since, you know, fall's almost over at this point. And I forgot my microphone, so I apologize if the rain is interfering too much with the video. I might just end up scrapping this whole damn thing. It just depends on how the video comes out, because I'm about to ramble. But it's gonna be a good ramble because I want to talk about something. So recently I just found out something. It just took effect here in November. Now, I did film a bin store vlog on this same day. However, you're not going to be seeing that video for a while. All of my bin store vlogs are roughly 3 or 4 weeks behind schedule. So you're going to see this video way before the bin store vlog. But my favorite bin store had the nerve to raise their prices. How dare they? How dare they raise their prices? You know, it was bound to happen. It was by far the best priced bin store in the area. There are multiple other bin stores in this area, and none of them are even close in price to being as good as Black Friday deals. So I knew it was eventually going to happen. And so what I wanted to talk about while I'm, you know, driving home from the bin store after paying $1 more per item, I wanted to talk about how, as a reseller, you always have to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan Q, a plan M. You know, you have to have all these different plans, because the entire selling model that I have is realistically based off of a certain sourcing schedule and platform schedule. So when one of those schedules gets thrown into the garbage disposal, I have to figure it out. So I had to sit down, and I'm a numerical person. I always look at numbers. I'm obsessed with numbers. And so one of the things that I had to do, oh great, my thing is gonna beep for a minute. I promise there's not a person sitting next to me that does not have their seatbelt on. It's a couple of boxes I have to drop off at UPS, and unfortunately those boxes weigh enough for my car to think that it is a person. And so the thing is gonna start beeping here pretty soon. Hopefully it doesn't last very long. Beep, 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 we know. There we go, it stopped. Anyway, what was I saying? So I sat down and I started looking at the numbers, and I do keep spreadsheets, and I'm thinking about doing a video just about this. So let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see a more detailed video about the spreadsheet that I use to keep up with my Facebook sales. The spreadsheet basically tells me my profits for the week, how much revenue I've done for the week, my average sale price, and all of that. So I was looking at that spreadsheet. Let me know if you want me to go into detail about that spreadsheet and kind of show you guys how I do that. But I was looking at that spreadsheet, and I was looking at my average sale price. And what I learned is, of the last 4 weeks, my average sale price is between $13 and $14. And that's with purchasing things at $4 on Sundays primarily, because that has been my favorite day to go as of late. So after the sales tax that I have to pay, the card charges, because again, I say it's $4, but I don't pay $4. I pay more than $4 because I have to pay sales tax. And there's also a 3% fee for cards, because I'm not going to bring hundreds of dollars with me every single week in cash. And I want to be able to track card payments for bookkeeping purposes. So anywho's, God, my hair is wet and horrible. Just don't look at my hair. Treat this like a podcast. Don't look at my hair. Just listen to what I'm talking about. Please don't look at my hair. Actual cost per item I'm spending is around $4.59 on $4 day. Now, with a price increase up to $5 from $4, that will then increase my cost from $4.59 to about $5.63 or $5.68, somewhere in that range, nearly $6, right? That is a massive, massive, massive jump with my average, because keep in mind, the inventory is not changing, only the price. So the exact same inventory is going to be available on the exact same days. So if I keep that same average sale price, but yet I'm paying $1.30 whatever more per item, that is going to take my average profit down. So as of right now, my average profit per sale is roughly $8.50. This is everything that I figured out when I, panicked over the weekend going through my spreadsheet and crunching numbers. My average profit per sale during every single week on Facebook is roughly $8.50. That means that with a price increase, my profit will then drop to about $7.25 or 30 cents, which will eat about $500 a month on average out of my profit. $500 a month in profit just gone if I change nothing. And so, of course, I am not ready to just give up $500 a month in profit. Hell no. I work for that. I'm not just going to give up $500 a month in profit without trying to see what I could do to make a change. So I ended up doing the math, and what I found out was when I was sourcing items at $2 a piece on Mondays, my average sale price was more around $9 or $10, which was more of a $7 something cent profit. So my profits were still pretty good on $2 a day, but not as good as when I was getting stuff for $4. So I was able to do all of the math things, and I was able to find out that if I wanted to continue to make the exact same profit that I am making now, and I was shopping on Monday instead of Sunday, with going up from $2 to $3, I'm so sorry if I'm confusing you, going from $2 to $3 instead of shopping $4 to $5, what I found was I would have to source and sell 20 additional items every single week in order to keep the same profit, which does not sound bad at all. That's an average of 3 to 4 items extra a day. And so that's really not out of the realm of possibility, especially if I am still able to find just as many good things on Mondays as I am Sundays. And that also doesn't mean that I can't go an occasional Sunday and grab a handful of things, or it doesn't mean that I can't, go to another sourcing opportunity, or I can't start getting liquidation boxes, or maybe I can't get a pallet or something in addition to going to the bin store every Monday. The primary reason why my first initial thought was not to just go Sundays and Mondays is because additional sourcing time definitely takes away from my work schedule. So I had mentioned previously that I was doing sourcing 2 to 3 days a week because, let's be frank, I'm addicted to sourcing. But when I started getting most of my inventory on Sundays only, I was finding that I was getting so much more done during the week because I wasn't going out sourcing as much. Because I don't know about you guys. I don't know any of you guys that source at bin stores. Tell me if you agree. I get tired after going to the bin store. There's a lot of stress with all the people. There's knocking elbows with people. There's digging for boxes. There's lifting. There's going. There's loading stuff in the car. There's bringing stuff in the house. There's a lot of physical activity that goes into sourcing at a bin store. And so when I go to source, I wouldn't say it wrecks the rest of my day, but it definitely has an effect on my productivity the rest of the day when I go sourcing. So if I were to go sourcing Friday, Sunday, and Monday every single week, that would really, really take away from my ability to get work done. So I started just sourcing on Sundays, and I was able to find enough stuff every week. So if I'm only going to go one day, I'm going to switch it to Monday, I think, because all I have to do is source 20 additional items. Now, today was actually my first day doing that, and I had a goal of 85 items, and I only got 75. So that's still, 10 more than I usually get, but it's not as much as I wanted. And now I'm realizing the mistake that I made is I probably could have found more stuff. I probably could have. I was moving very, very, very quickly, and I wasn't keeping track of how many items I had. I had 2 overflowing carts with a bunch of small things. And so I thought, oh, surely there's, 30 to 40 items per cart. I'm sure I'm fine. No, I actually didn't have as many items as I thought. So I very well could have checked out and then went back in and found an additional 10 to 15 items. I know I could have done that. I just chose not to today, mostly because I know that I already have 10 to 15 items that are down in my basement waiting to be listed. So I have the filler. I don't have to go in and buy those items this week to hit my 85 goal. But what is the point of me rambling? What is the point of me rambling? The point of me rambling is to just be a friendly reminder to you that you have to be willing to think on your toes. You have to be willing to change your plans and figure stuff out. Another point that I would like to make is how important it is to know your numbers. It is crucial for you to know what your numbers are, so that if you need to pivot, it doesn't take you at a loss or take extra work for you to figure out what you need to do to fix it. A lot of us that go out in the wild and we go sourcing, businesses are closing up left and right. I have seen numerous secondhand stores close up. I've seen numerous bin stores close up, in addition to my own. So if you're new to my channel, I owned a bin store for nearly 3 years. I know the in and outs of the liquidation industry, not just because of that. I knew a lot about liquidation before that. That's why I got into the bin store business. But there's bin stores closing up. There's liquidation stores closing up. There's secondhand stores closing up. You cannot think that the honey hole that you have lasts forever. You have to be able to think about different opportunities in case your current business model gets a wrench thrown in it, or in case one of your plans gets tossed in the garbage disposal like mine did. I feel like, and it always happens when you become the most comfortable. I finally fell into a schedule. I kid you not. I was just thinking to myself last week, it's so nice to finally have a schedule. It is. I know that I've done videos before talking about my schedule at the time. It's way different now. It does take a lot of time and work and repetitiveness for you to kind of fall into a routine schedule that actually works for you. And I finally fell into one, and now my wrench got thrown in, and I have to change whatever days I go sourcing unless I want to lose $500 in profit every single week. So and please don't think that me doing this video is in any way complaining about the price increase. I get it. Black Friday deals is my favorite honey hole. I do not want them closing up shop. If they need to raise prices $1 or $2 in order to stay in business, have at it. It is not my fault that they need to raise prices. Well, I mean, it could be customers' faults because they keep ripping open boxes and destroying stuff in the bins, but they could be having supply cost increase. They could be dealing with some utility increases. They could be dealing with some rent increases. Maybe they have, new staff that they had to take on. Therefore, they have to increase their revenue every single week. There's lots of reasons why businesses have to raise their prices. So I respect them for having to do that. When I had a bin store, I had to do that. My customers did not like it, but I had to do what I had to do to try to keep the lights on. So I get it. That's why it is up to me as the entrepreneur to figure my ish out. I have to just figure it out. That's on me. That's part of being an entrepreneur. And so my message to you today is to not become complacent and not be ready to change things up a little bit. You have to be ready to do the dance. You can't write things in pen. You've got to write it in pencil. You have to be willing to rearrange your schedule. You have to be willing to figure stuff out. And you need to know your numbers. You cannot possibly figure out what needs to be fixed if you don't know your numbers. That means make sure that you are accurately tracking your sale prices. You're tracking your profits. You're keeping all of your business expenses, income, outgoing, everything in a separate account. That's actually something that came out in a live stream that I did not too long ago. Someone was asking about a personal versus a business checking account. If you have a business, you must have a business checking account. Even if your business is not officially registered and you are just a sole proprietor and you don't have an LLC or anything, you still need to have a business bank account. You have to have a way to separate business from personal when it comes to taxes. Because even if you're not an official business, you still have to pay taxes on whatever profits you make. It's the law. So if you have all of your business finances separate, you should know your numbers. You should know what your profit margins are. You should know what your average monthly business expenses are. You should know how much you have coming in every single month. These are all numbers that you should know. That way, if your entire schedule just gets put in the garbage disposal, or if you have a business situation that erupts and, everything just kind of blows up in your face one day and you've got to figure stuff out, it's a lot easier to figure out that kind of stuff if you know your numbers, or if you have backup plans. That's something else. Like me, just like I mentioned, because I have realized that in my personal circumstance, it's not really feasible for me to go sourcing 2 days a week, every single week. It's just not. So if I am unable to get everything that I need for listing in 1 week, if I'm not able to get all of that in 1 day, I have to figure something else out. Is there another bin store that's closer to home? Can I bring in liquidation lots? Can I do pallets again? What can I do to supplement the little bit of stuff that I'm not able to get going that 1 day a week? Now, there are certain circumstances where I will be able to go 2 times a week. Maybe there's a week where I know I'm going to have the whole next week to just kind of get ahead with work so I can go sourcing a couple of times. I've talked about going to the bin store for 50-cent day for eBay merchandise, which, spoiler alert, it's no longer 50-cent day. They raised it up to $1. That's going to make me sad because a lot of stuff on 50-cent day was perfect for eBay, and it's going to hurt paying $1 for it. I know that sounds so silly, like, ooh, it's going up 50 cents, big deal. But with my new eBay plan, the 50 cents is going to matter. So I'm going to have to rethink the kind of items I'm getting on Dollar Day. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here today and talk to you guys about what it means to be an entrepreneur, having a plan, changing course. Sometimes you're going to come to a fork in the road. You're going to be going good and everything's going to be going swimmingly. And then the road is just going to fork off and you're going to have to try to figure out, okay, which direction do I go? You have to have plans in place so that you're not completely surprised. So if you have one honey hole that you are just used to sourcing at every single week, you need to come up with another plan because that honey hole might not be there forever. But I think I have rambled on just a little bit too much. Let me know down in the comments, how many plans do you have in place? Me, I have about 3 different plans, all getting thought of constantly. Just plans A, B, and C all the time. And those are always changing because I pay attention to the aspects of those plans that I am surrounded with. And every time I start to notice that those plans look like they might be changing, I have to revamp plans. I'm one of those people, I plan to plan. I always have plans, and I always plan on worst case scenarios so that I can be prepared and not surprised. So like I said, I had a bin store. I knew bin stores needed to raise their price. I know bin stores shut down. And so being that Black Friday deals is my honey hole and it's the place where I source the most frequently, and it's 99% of the stuff I sell on my Facebook page, I had contingencies in play for things like the bin store shutting down, the prices going up, you know, so it wasn't a huge shock to me. But going through this circumstance this week inspired me to talk to you guys about it, because when you're an entrepreneur, you got to figure stuff out. Like, you can't ever become complacent. And I got to tell you, it's exhausting. It's exhausting, but we love it, right? Right? But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you letting me yak your ear off from my car. It's become my new favorite place to yak all your ears off. So I appreciate you guys being here. If you like these kind of videos, please make sure to hit the thumbs up before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to check out how exactly I'm selling all of my stuff on Facebook, you can see how I do that in real time by checking out my Facebook page. I always have it linked in the video description. You just open up the video description box. It should be the very first clickable link that's on there, and you can see how I am selling items in real time. I do also ship items now, so if you happen to see anything that you are interested in, you can join in on the fun and put sold in the comments. If you have not yet subscribed, please remember to subscribe and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. And thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.